Hello, my little grasshoppers. This is my first attempt at using what's called Screencast-O-Matic, and we're going to attempt to do this little Bible study called The Lamp of the Body. My name, of course, is Rabbi Gary Almy, and I'm just happy to be your presenter today, and hopefully you will learn great things from this little Bible study. So let's take a look. We're looking at the lamp of the body as recorded in Luke 11:33 through 36. So let's take a look. All right, let's see if this works. There we go. All right, so taking a look at this, it is rather complicated upon first glance, but what we always want to do when we're doing a Bible study is we want to take a look at the context of the verses. So we don't want to just take that out of context. We want to take a look at what the surrounding verses say as well, because that will give us insight oftentimes into the meaning of the verses. So let's take a look at the context of the verses, those that are around it. What leads up to Jesus using this parable of the lamp of the body? So first of all, Jesus is talking to a crowd of people. We know that the crowd of people consists of his disciples, of course. We also know that there are probably some Pharisees that are in this crowd of people. That's evidenced in verse 37, because right after he was finished speaking, a Pharisee asked him to come to his house for dinner. So we do know that there were some Pharisees that were also in this crowd, and then simply the curious, those that were following him, those that were looking to see perhaps what he would do next. It's also interesting to note that Jesus had just driven out a demon from a mute man. It says that the crowd was amazed, and this probably began to increase the crowd in size. The fact that he had done something so miraculous and so amazing, it said the crowd began to increase, and it was probably due as a result of the fact that he did this spectacular miracle of driving out a demon. So that's a little bit of the context. Also, it says that some in the crowd blessed him. We hear that the woman shouted out and said, "Blessed is the mother who gave birth to you." However, others in the crowd tested him. They asked him to produce a sign from heaven. Perhaps they did this in order for him to give further proof to his claims of who he was. We don't know exactly why they were asking for a sign, but they said, "Produce a sign for us. Show us a sign from heaven," as if casting a demon out was not enough of a sign. They wanted more of a sign. So though the crowds increased, and really against any kind of what today might be public relations recommendations, that he didn't seem to capitalize on the fact that the crowd was increasing. And in fact, Jesus referred to them as a wicked generation seeking a sign. So certainly not a way to win friends, influence people, or to increase your following. He referred to them as a wicked generation. Why was he doing that? Well, he was doing that in response to their request because they were seeking for a sign. They wanted to say, "Hey, show us proof. Give us something." Jesus said that the only sign that would be given to them was that of the sign of Jonah, who of course was in the belly of the whale for 3 days and then came out of the belly of the whale. So similar, and a picture of the resurrection. So Jesus said he would be similar to that sign. But after that, he also said he pronounced judgment on them because they would not heed this sign. So he definitely came down heavy on the crowd and said that those who were in Nineveh would pronounce judgment on them because they would not heed the sign of Jonah that was being given to them. And then Jesus switches to the parable of the lamp of the body, which seems to be maybe a little bit out of place at first. So it would appear at first glance that this parable is unrelated to the previous text. It looks like it was just kind of dropped out of nowhere. But in fact, it's not. He's referring to their inability to recognize or to see the sign given. So he's just basically saying to them, "Hey, you want a sign? I'm going to give you the sign of Jonah. You won't recognize it. You won't see it." So he then switches to a parable that talks about the lamp of the body. So Jesus reminds them that a light is not to be hidden, but to be put on a lampstand to provide illumination for all. So this makes sense. You don't light a lamp and then stick it somewhere underneath, because that would refute the purpose of the lamp. So what he says is that, hey, no one's going to light a lamp and then put it somewhere where it cannot be seen, because then it can't provide illumination for all. So Jesus is referring to himself as that light that God has illuminated and presented to the world. However, the light being in a room does not mean that everyone in that room will see that light. And you say, well, how is that? Well, seeing the light depends on the condition of the eye. The eye is that which gives light to the whole body. The eye is the receptor of the light. So if the eye is healthy or whole, the person will be able to take in all the light. If it is not healthy or it is diseased, then light cannot get in. So it's important to know that the eye is that which receives the light. So if there's no eye to see the light, then the light does no good. So what he's saying is that if your eye is healthy or whole, the person will be able to take in all the light. But if it's not, if there's some kind of disease in the eye, or if it's not healthy, then light can't get in, or at least not all the light can get in. And Jesus said, see to it that the light within you is not darkness. But what he's referring here to is the condition of one's soul. So he's saying that, and showing the parable of the eye being that which lets light in. So he's saying, hey, see to it that the light, the eye, is healthy, that the soul is healthy. It's similar to the parable of the soil, that there are, the seed being planted will grow depending on the condition of the soil. So here he's saying that the light will be seen only by the condition of the eye, the condition of our soul. And so when he says see to it, it's a command. And it means, hey, take heed, give attention to, make sure that the light that is within you is not darkness. It is our responsibility to keep our eye healthy and free from impurities in order to let that light in. So what he's saying, remember, he's just called them a wicked generation. And he's saying that they won't be able to recognize the sign, because he's saying that their eye is unhealthy, so they can't receive the light, they can't see the light. So he tells the people there, who are of all different types, make sure your eye is healthy. Because if your eye is healthy, then the light within you will be fully light. You will get all that light in. If it's not healthy, then you will not be able to see all the light. So it's definitely a recommendation or a command by God, by Jesus, to say the condition of your soul matters. The condition of your eye matters. If there's impurities there, then the light won't get in. So he knew he was speaking to Pharisees whose motives were impure. He knew that he was talking to people whose motives were impure. They would not be able to see the light because their eye was not healthy. And so therefore the light that was in them was really darkness. And so he says, make sure that your eye, the condition of your soul, that which receives the light, is able to receive all of that light, that it is healthy, that is free of impurities. Okay, well, that is our short little Bible study for today, and I hope that this was beneficial to you, and I kind of enjoyed doing it, and I hope that it helped. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact me. You can reach me at 602-743-1321, or you can also contact me via email, gary.almy@gmail.com. And it has been my supreme pleasure to speak to you, my little grasshoppers. Talk to you later. Bye.